G'day, I'm Cody Robert Judy, and this is A Cry in the Wilderness. I'm running for the state of Utah in the U.S. Senate race, and this morning I was volunteering and helping to clean up the Rivers Parkway here in Ogden, Utah. And I thought a little about that, and I thought it would be a good thing to review a few scriptures. The picture that I made for this video was it said making Utah a jewel of the nation. And we can certainly do that by cleaning up. If every single Utahn gave an hour of volunteer service in helping to clean this beautiful state up, that contributes a huge amount to the state and the value of it and the appeal of it, not only to other men but to God. And that is what God told the children of Israel in Exodus chapter 19 verse 5. It says, "Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice, indeed," not just in word, but in deed, "and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." And so, right there, the Lord basically said, all the earth is mine, but if you'll obey my voice and obey my covenant and keep my word, then you'll really be a jewel to me among and within and around the whole earth. And so that was kind of cool, Some people think, that God doesn't care if you litter. Well, He cares about everything. And He gives us the commandments to help us and to refine our hearts. And there's nothing wrong with little elbow grease and cleaning yourself up and looking nice and cleaning your camp up and making it look nice too. Your house, your dwelling place. And I always do that wherever I'm at. I try to keep it nice and clean, as if the Lord was right there sitting next to me or walking around the camp. What would I want the Lord to see if He walked in to my camp? What would you want the Lord to see if He walked into your house? And so that's a concern. People think the Lord isn't an environmentalist. He is in many ways. Here's the scripture to prove that. In Deuteronomy chapter 23, starting in verse 12 down to about 15. Thou shalt have a place also without the camp, or around the camp, whither thou shalt go forth abroad, and thou shalt have a paddle upon thy weapon. And it shall be, when thou wilt ease thyself abroad, thou shalt dig therewith, and shalt turn back and cover that which cometh from thee. For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee, and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee, and turn away from thee. So those of you who may not understand that, the Lord wanted your camp clean. He didn't want you to shit in your camp. And if you go outside your camp to take shit, then you take something, you dig in the ground a hole, and then you cover it. And he tells you why to do that. For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp. Well, the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy house. The Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy environment. And why do you want to keep it clean? Lest the Lord see an unclean thing and turn away from thee. You don't want to be a repugnant. You don't want to have a place of repugnancy. And think about that yourself. If you're walking into a place and you walk into the place and there's trash and shit all over. Well, you don't really want to hang out, lay down and wallow in that, do you? Some people say, well, a little trash don't bother me. But, put them in the middle of a pig pen and see if they want to wallow in that too. Not too many human beings want to get in a pig pen and wallow in it. So there's a capacity for anybody, really, to be so repulsed that you turn around and walk away. And when the Lord turns around and walks away, that's when he says you could be delivered to an enemy. Because he says there in verse 14, to deliver thee. So he's there. Your guardian angels are there. Every one of you have guardian angels around you that are sent from the Lord. The Lord continually says that. And you don't want to offend his guardian angels. And, poor judgment, or judgmentalness, I should say, can be the same way. that can repel the Lord faster than a piece of shit in the camp. You know, he tells us to clean ourselves also. And I want to read in 2 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 1. Having therefore these promises, dearly beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. In the fear of God. What the Lord means with that is a respect. A respect for the Lord. You need to respect the Lord. There's a lot of people that don't. And that can come as there can be consequences to that. He's created this beautiful, beautiful earth, beautiful rivers, you know. We should do everything in our power to, you know, keep it clean, keep it tidy and organized. Keep our shit buried. You know, bury your shit. And that means your judgmentalness too. Because you can pervert that. You can go so far. You can go so far to that, into that point that becomes a sin and a mistake. You know, I mean, that was the case with Jesus when he walked the earth. It's the same way. He did trash the money changers, though. He trashed that place, turned the tables over and whipped the hell out of them. And he got pissed. You don't want to piss the Lord off. And that judgmentalness is just an unholy judgment, you know. You got to keep that balanced. You got to keep a good balance, you know. Try to keep a good balance. You know, keep a good standard. Try to clean up after yourself. I was happy to volunteer down here a little bit, and try to help keep our environment clean, do a little sweeping, do a little picking the garbage up, you know. Other people, you know, they get to the point where they just don't care, throw a little trash here. You know, I always try to make a little confession. I always try to leave a restroom even a little cleaner, because it's usually the dirtiest place, you know, and I try to leave a restroom cleaner than it was when I walked in, you know. If the paper towels are overflowing in the garbage can, I'll reach my hand in there and push them down, you know. It's not too hard. I collect my butts. I clean my butt up. Clean my butts up. See that? And clean my butts up. Clean your butts up. Clean your butts up. Well, that's a little word from the Lord on keeping our environment clean and working on keeping Utah looking beautiful. Make it a beautiful jewel for the Lord to walk around in and be a nice, peculiar jewel for the Lord. Well, I'm Cody Robert Judy. Write my name in, Utah. Step up. Don't step down. Step up. Write my name in. Cody Judy, U.S. Senate, Utah. And I'll talk to you next.